All right, guys, this is some real talk. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. I've had it on my mind. I've been thinking about it, and I just have to talk about it. Okay, let's just be honest. Like every now and then, you know how you have like those things that you think about, but you just have to vent to somebody or tell somebody. That is this video. So the question I want to ask to the audience is if you disliked a project from one of your most beloved franchise, did it affect you so much to where you said you are done with the franchise? Like I see it so many times today. Like people are saying, I'm done with the MCU because of one bad movie or show. And then people say, I'm done with Star Wars because Disney sucks. And then like you just totally stop watching Star Wars because of the Acolyte or whatever. Like I understand that some of these projects are not good. Okay, I get that. But to say that you're completely done with the franchise or that you've lost interest 100% blows my mind. Like if you are on the level of, like Star Wars like lore nerd and you've like read X amount of books, you've played these like this many games and you've dedicated 10 years of your life to basically learning as much as you can about a fictional universe, for you to just come out and say, yeah, I'm done with it. Like, I just don't understand that. Like I love Star Wars. I love Transformers. I love G.I. Joe. I love superheroes. I love so many things. But for me to say, yeah, this one show was trash, so that just makes me hate everything that I've watched before. Like, no, that philosophy just doesn't like check with me. Like I love Star Wars. Like the Acolyte or the Last Jedi does not ruin the Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith for me. It just doesn't. Okay, for some people it does. I don't know why. Maybe because the expectation was so up, like high up here, and then the character arc that we were expecting for most of the characters didn't come to fruition. Like I understand that, like being disappointed, but to say that you dislike everything else, it's just crazy to me. Like I'll give you an example. Like the MCU has given me several duds. Okay, like and for some, like this is just my personal opinion. Some people may love these movies, but or shows, but like there are some that just didn't land for me. Now, am I still hyped for Doomsday? Absolutely. It doesn't change my mind on the MCU at all. I just think that like I can definitely agree with the majority that the MCU has fallen off a little bit, right? Like for a few years there, like in the COVID period up until about now, uh, most of the projects they released were very subpar. I mean, there are a few gems in there, but most of them were just. It's like we were just going through the motions. Uh, but then I watch Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, and I'm like, oh, we're so back. And that's typically what happens with all these franchises. And it's so funny because you watch the internet, it's like, oh man, like well, I'm so hyped for this show, man. It's gonna be so good. And then they watch and it's like, man, it sucks. MCU is dead. Star Wars is dead. And then it's like, not even a year later, whatever the next movie or show is, they're like, oh, we're so back. We're so back. And I'm like, it happens all the time. Like, you're not gonna like everything, and you're also not gonna dislike everything. I mean, I guarantee you, there's somebody out there that hates Infinity War. I know there is. I know there is. There's somebody out there that thinks that Infinity War is stupid. Okay, the same way with Star Wars. There is somebody who probably absolutely loves The Rise of Skywalker and it's their favorite Star Wars movie. Like it's all opinion based. It's all about what you feel and what you enjoy and what you like. And that's what I don't understand. Like the comments that come from these people, it's like, I'm done with it. Whenever you say you're done with it, like you're just gonna totally disregard it forever. Like, I don't know about you guys, but my favorite movies and shows, I rewatch them a lot. I've rewatched the Clone Wars a lot. I've rewatched Transformers and G.I. Joe, the original cartoons, so much. I rewatched Transformers Prime. I rewatched like so many Star Wars movies, and I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, like I rewatched the same Turtles movie, the TMNT '07, Oh my gosh, that is my freaking movie. That might be my favorite Turtles movie. I think it is. I think it's still my favorite Turtles movie. But like for someone else, like me saying that would be absolutely heinous. They would say, "Oh my gosh, you are not a true Turtles fan." And guess what? We got to get to that point where like you have to literally not care. Like it's up to you. Like what you enjoy is what you enjoy. Don't let other people ruin it, okay? I mean, like I don't like The Last Jedi. I don't like The Acolyte, but I'm not going to tell somebody they're stupid or they suck because, you know, they really love those like those projects. You know, I'm not going to do that. Me probably I don't know, 7 years ago probably would have said something like that, but not now. I'm over that, okay? Like if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. That's fine. We have to like stop trying to be like big brains, you know? Like and what I mean by this is we're all so quick to be experts on this stuff now. Like back then it wasn't even cool to be a nerd. And now it's cool to be a nerd because it's socially acceptable because it's taken over pop culture so much. But like we all try to be big brains. It's like, oh well, I'll tell you why this movie's not good because it's not entirely accurate to the Frank Miller run of Batman. Like, dude, just stop. Just stop. Like, do you realize how many iterations of popular characters we have, especially when it comes to superheroes? Like, I'm tired of hearing it's not entirely comic accurate. I'm like, okay, well, these movies and these shows, how do you pick one storyline to base it off of? Like, you know how many different runs of Spider-Man there are? I mean, oh my gosh. Do you know how many different runs of Batman there are? How many different variations of the character we have? Absolutely nuts. Like, we could go on for years. And if there's somebody out there that has read them all, kudos to you. But you must have dedicated more than half your life to reading all those books. My point is there are loose interpretations. You know what I mean? And then there's also there are good ways to where you can pull from different source materials to make something that's faithful to all of them. Prime example, Transformers 1. Yes, it's not entirely accurate to a specific storyline. It's kind of its own thing. But what they did is the creators, I know they did this because if you watch the movie and you listen to the music, oh my gosh, they pull from so many different little things. They're like, okay, here's a little bit from G1. Here's a little bit from Transformers Prime. Here's a little bit from the Bay movies. You know, here's a little bit from Transformers Armada. Here's a little bit from Transformers Animated. There are just so many little things that they pulled from and they just combined it together. And that's what's so beautiful about like where we are now. You know what I mean? If somebody wanted to make a new Spider-Man movie with the new Spider-Man storyline, everything, like that's where Spider-Verse is great because they incorporate so many different versions of the character, but also new storylines, but somehow they're faithful to the books, the source material. And like that's what's so important about these characters is making sure the motives, the tone, their actions match the source material. Like you can tell new stories, you can do new things, but staying faithful to the characters is what I think a lot of people really care about. It's just they always want to be big brain and refer it to something else or compare it to something else. Like for like prime example here, people always want to compare like let's just talk about Batman, okay? The most recent Batman show, Batman Caped Crusader, I thought was really good. It was an Amazon original, but they changed a lot of the villains, okay? And what I mean by changed them is like they did like gender swap, like for example, the Penguin's a woman. They also did like different origin stories. They also did a different time period in which this is set. I thought Batman Caped Crusader was pretty good. Now, do I think it's better than Batman the Animated Series? Absolutely not. But whenever people went into that show, they were immediately thinking like, oh, this is not going to be Batman the Animated Series. Well, obviously not. Like, Batman the Animated Series is like a timeless classic, and to be honest, probably one of the best depictions of Batman we have ever received. And I don't expect anything to come close to that. So I went into that show just thinking like, I wonder what I'm getting myself into. Is this going to be good? And guess what? It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But now, does that mean that Batman the Animated Series is worse than that? Absolutely not. Same thing with Spider-Man. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that came out recently on Disney Plus. I thought that was a great show. I was thoroughly surprised. I went into that show thinking I was going to absolutely hate it and rip it apart. But it was actually pretty good. Now, is it better than the 90s Spider-Man cartoon? Absolutely not. But, like, we get into this mindset where we have to compare everything to something, you know? And I get that. I get that. I think it's fun to have comparisons and talk about what you like and what you dislike. But to say that a certain show or movie is garbage because this was so good blows my mind. Okay? It just blows my mind. Like, just hold on to your favorites, but still, open up your mind and give something a try. That's all I'm saying. But the fact that you can say that, hey, I am totally done with a franchise that I love so much because of one quote or one character changing or one show being a flop is, I don't know, it's kind of absurd to me. I don't know. I've started to kind of find the good in the bad, and I'll give you one last example before, I end this video because I'm just rambling at this point. But like the sequel trilogy, okay? I think it's very, very popular to hate it because of how inconsistent it is, right? But to this day, I think The Force Awakens is a great Star Wars movie. It is fantastic. It is so fun. And then The Last Jedi for me, even though it's probably my least favorite Star Wars movie, there are good things in it. And I wish they would have explored more. There are great ideas that were introduced, like the Rey and Kylo dynamic about the dyad before we knew it was a dyad. That was epic. I mean, there's just so many cool things about those movies. It's just the story was not executed well. Like, I know The Rise of Skywalker is literally just a hodgepodge, but I love it more than The Last Jedi because there's so much in there that I think is cool. Like, even though I'm mad that Palpatine... I mean, I'm not really that mad that Palpatine is alive or whatever, because it kind of makes sense, and I'm glad they're kind of explaining it like throughout Bad Batch and Mando, because if you think about it, that was his idea all along, was to find a way to live forever. So trying to find a source to basically immortality. But anyways, like, Palpatine in his Gucci robes, base boosting force lightning into the sky. Yeah, that's freaking cool. I mean, even if it makes no sense, I don't care. That was freaking awesome. And then, like, for example, the best part of that entire trilogy, in my opinion, is the character of Kylo Ren. He was so beautifully written through all three movies, okay? All three. And I don't know. Like, I would be lying to you if I told you that there were things in those movies that I didn't like. Okay, even though it's my least favorite trilogy, and even though it has two of my least favorite Star Wars movies, there's still a lot of good in it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the mindset I'm having now, is like, even the stuff that I absolutely hate or I just don't like as much, there's still a lot of good that came from it. But anyways, let me know what you think. Have you said that you are, like, have you gotten to that point with any of your beloved franchise where you said you're done? Just let me know. I just want to understand that thought process, because to me, I don't know. I just don't understand that, especially if you really love the characters. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping here, or is this just like, I don't know. Like, does this seem logical for me to think this way? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just in a mood because of all the stuff I hear on podcasts and stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good one. Remember, stay frosty, and God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week.